Hi everybody, Dan Illman, Matt Bernier. The DRFBets race of the day for Saturday, April the 6th, a very important Kentucky Derby prep at Santa Anita. It's the Grade 1 Santa Anita Derby, carded as race number 8. For our loyal race of the day viewers, we've got a new promotion for you at promos.drf.com. Bet $7 to win on any horse in the race of the day by using bets.drf.com or the DRF phone app. And if your horse finishes second or third, we will give you your $7 back. Let's meet the field of 3-year-olds in the Santa Anita Derby. Again, hoping to take that next step to the first Saturday in May at Churchill Downs. You can access free formulator past performances for this race on the Race of the Day event page at drf.com. Download them, handicap along with us. We'll take the field in post position order, beginning with the other Baffert, the number 1 Roadster, and Roadster returned off of a long layoff with a very impressive win around 2 turns. There's a little bit of buzz around this horse all winter long.
Yeah, you know, Roadster's the kind of horse, going back to that Del Mar Futurity, I thought it was telling that, okay, Game Winner won the race, and Baffert afterward was more disappointed in Roadster than he was excited about Game Winner. You see Mike Smith's ridden this horse in all 3 lifetime starts. He'll ride him again on Saturday. And you're right, the return effort I thought was really strong. He had a beautiful trip. Don't get me wrong. There was not a ton of speed signed on. He was out in the clear, but he was never asked to run a step. And I just thought visually he was very, very impressive. It's been some time that I've kind of felt like this might be the horse that Baffert and company were most excited about, even more so maybe than Improbable. And that's saying a lot, considering Improbable's in the barn, considering Game Winner himself is in the barn. We'll find out about a mile and an eighth. I don't know if I'm 100% sold, but I do think the quality is there. But
this horse, I think, had a little breathing problem after the Del Mar Futurity, which led to the long layoff. Everything seems fine now. Now we'll just see if he gets the mile and an eighth. He draws the inside post. The 2 is More Ice, 30-1 on the morning line, when last seen third in the El Camino Real Derby behind the very sharp Another Twist of Fate, who came back to run second in the Sunland Derby with a 94 Beyer speed figure. This seems like an honest horse, no matter the surface, whether it's dirt or synth or turf. I'm just not sure he's up to the level of 2 or 3 of the big names in here.
Yeah, that's the big problem for More Ice as well as Synthesis. They look like they could be nice horses, and there's nothing wrong with them at this point right now. They just look like they're way in against it.
Really like Nolo Contesto's maiden win, 2 starts back on January the 4th. His second lifetime start, his first around 2 turns. He was tracking 3 wide. It was a nice trip, but he wore down the favorite late. And that favorite happened to be Omaha Beach, who came back to impressively win a maiden and then went to Oaklawn Park and took the measure of Game Winner in the faster division of the Rebels Stakes. Last time out, no match for Roadster, but didn't have the best of starts. I think Nolo Contesto can certainly improve with that last race under his girth.
No, I agree. I think he's improving, and he might be one going forward. You watch his gallop outs. I think he wants as much ground as possible. The thing about that non-winner is a one other than. I thought from a trip standpoint, I almost wonder if that was a better sort of race for him than if he were in a position like Roadster and just out in the clear winging it, because we know what he's capable of when he is in the clear, as he was 2 starts back. But I think being in behind horses, having dirt kicked in his face, it was a little bit tight rounding the far turn, didn't have any kind of seam. I wonder if in the long run, a race like that, maybe it hindered him that day. I think long run, though, that may actually be more beneficial than going out there and just putting the boots to it in an overmatched field.
Big price on the number 4, Synthesis, new barn here. Last time took on Desmond, who came back to run a troubled second at Oaklawn in a 1X with an 81 Beyer speed figure. Interesting that this horse has a win at a mile and a 16th, perhaps stretching back out in distance will help him out, but I can see him forwardly placed, and I'm not sure that's the place to be when you've got the speedy Instagrand, as we see on the Timeform US pace projector, expected to lead the way.
And even if he's in a position that's advantageous from a pace standpoint, again, he's just very similar to More Ice from a number standpoint. I just have a very hard time envisioning a scenario where he wins.
Like Roadster, Instagrand was a brilliant 2-year-old. He won his first 2 starts by the length of the track, once at Los Alamitos, and then the Grade 2 Best Power. He simply humbled Synthesis. He didn't really have any kind of physical problems. The owners just decided to put him away for the rest of the year, and he came back in a salty spot. The Grade 3 Gotham, off the layoff, stretching out to a mile for the first time. He was sitting in behind a very fast pace. He moved to the front, and then the closers came calling in the end. I thought all in all, it was a great tightener. For me, the main question is the 9 furlongs.
Agreed. I don't know if I love this horse as the distances get longer. I have a feeling he's going to be a nice one-turn horse, but I'm with you. The Gotham, I thought it was a very nice effort. I know a lot of people on social media were bashing the race afterwards, saying, "Oh, he wasn't that good." I go, put your opinions of what the ownership group did with the horse aside. That's a very fine effort coming off the bench. He replicated his career best buyer that was off of a long layoff at a distance and shipping out of town. I mean, I kind of look at it and say he has every right to improve here. And from a talent standpoint, I still think he might be one of the more talented 3-year-olds that there is.
I agree. And if this pace projector does prove correct, I mean, listen, maybe he could take these on a merry chase. We've got the 2-year-old champion as your odds-on morning line favorite. That's the number 6 game winner for Baffert. Obviously, a perfect 4 for 4 as a 2-year-old, culminating in a very gritty and gutsy score in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. And while he was beaten in the Rebel by the aforementioned Omaha Beach, I thought he ran his usual gritty, gutsy race. He must have been 4 wide trying to get into it 3.5 furlongs from home. He went after Omaha Beach in earnest, and he tried his heart out all the way down to the wire. He just missed the bob. He's not going to be your typical Baffert brilliant horse like an American Pharaoh or an Arrogate or a Justify. He works hard to win his races, but he's a real talented horse. I just have a feeling a 1 1/8 is going to be right up his wheelhouse.
Yeah, the way that he runs, it feels like distance is never going to be an issue for him, whether it's 1 1/8 or 1 1/4 here in a few weeks down in Kentucky. I agree with you. Look, I thought it was a fine effort there. I can understand anyone being slightly disappointed that he didn't get the job done, but at the same time, they were a country mile ahead of the rest of the pack. And Omaha Beach has proven himself to be a really nice horse. I underestimated him. Game winner, I expect him to run well here in this spot. The question becomes, does the pace situation potentially compromise him a little bit?
That's a very fair point, as we saw from the pace projector, where the 5 was in front and Roadster, the other Baffert horse, might get the jump on the Champ turning into the stretch. Let's take a look at our top selections. It's sort of a situation in Southern California in these races. In Baffert we trust, and that's where we're going. And you're going with another tried and true Southern California angle, the other Baffert, Roadster, all the upside potential in the world, and he might get first run on Game Winner.
That was the big thing. I kind of looked at it and said, if Instagram goes and perhaps he can't see out the distance like you and I are concerned, I think Roadster could inherit this thing. Now, having said that, Roadster may have distance limitations himself, but I was just impressed enough in that non-winner's a 1, other than I think he gets the jump on Game Winner, and he might be a better price.
And we're kicking off 50-cent late pick 4 here. Is it as simple as the 2 Bafferts for you?
The 2 Bafferts would be A's, but I would probably be using Nolo Contesto underneath, just simply because I think from a value standpoint, he's going to offer a heck of a lot more than Instagram. Instagram's the one that I'm fading of the big 4.
Big fan of Game Winner. Think he's going to like the 1 1/8. Think he's going to wear them down late. Again, he's going to give you moments of palpitations in the stretch because he doesn't win by many when he does win, but I think he's the most likely winner of this race. I went 6-5, 1-3 in the Grade 1 Santa Anita Derby, kicking off a 50-cent late pick 4 at the Great Race Place on Saturday. And for our DRFBets viewers, take a look at this new promotion. Money back on the race of the day. Promos.drf.com is where you need to go. Bet $7 to win on any horse in the race of the day via the DRF iPhone app or at bets.drf.com. And if your horse runs second or third, you get your money back. Approximate post time for the Santa Anita Derby, 4:14 Pacific. Good luck.